Good evening, good morning, good afternoon. Yes, I'm still trying to get it to work, and oh, it's always so great in here with the colors and the lights. So we're going to try this lamp up here, but it doesn't shine enough light. I don't want the overhead on today. A little bit ago, my head literally felt like it was in a... I felt like it was going to explode a bit. I had to do some healing there. Oh, just sat on a rope there. That's... Be careful around here. The storm's coming in. Is the storm in the house? You got a hat and everything on. I got my new snow boots on too. I'm waiting for the snow to come. It's about 66 in here, 37% humidity. If I put it up to 68 or so, the air gets even drier. Oh, no thank you, no thank you. But because of this scary front coming in, it could or could not. We find most stuff is not really coming through Monroe much. Then when it does, it's like very bizarro, like scary-o. Like there was a really horrible situation some years back out in the area of Ida with these trees, and I don't know if there ended up being this tornado ripped up a bunch of stuff. Just it was one of those eerie times, like it's been the last, 10 years, these specific isolated situations where there's just this, gosh, I don't want to call it death. This will be one of the philosophically inclined spiritual exploration videos I haven't done in a while. And I will end up circling back around. And then we got and hopefully I will. Sometimes it just takes something like that, like the dogs are like literally trying to sit on my lap, and then I'm forced to just like, I'm just gonna go lay on the couch or lay down so that they lay down. We just chill out for a little bit. One more major excitement that's going on around here. If that's as exciting as it gets. Well, we know it got real exciting. The county's gonna get away with this one too. God, I'd love to get into some other things about mini malls and how that's always a major sign of corruption in a town is mini mall extravaganzas, most of them empty. We want to get into all that today with the county? They don't scare. They don't care. They don't have no one. They do what they want. They don't have oversight. They don't care. They must got someone up in the big house now in Lansing that just pulls all their strings for them, like a boop, 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 boop. Is the sun kind of, I thought, creeped out for a minute, so I was like, oh, that's cool. But I don't know if that's what it was. So still getting this extra where it's this, you're like, whoa, she really did do too much stuff, huh? Is this for my mockers? I got 12 that are sending... A whole 12. It's like apostles. I got 12 apostles sending out my videos. Is that my mockers, my scorners, my haters, my lovers, a mix of the breeds. I wanted to discuss things like why should we believe in God? Why, and kind of do it where I do that thing where I like say something like a devil's advocate and then I kind of answer it myself, and to kind of just help the youth navigate. And the thing is that I don't want to be really any more upfront about this than the next person. With younger crowds is I can't even imagine your anxiety levels. I imagine like how mine was, but I bet I could take that and just amp it way up. Here are some concerts we think you'll love, and that's what Brand Radio or Brand Town. Let's just stop right now. Concert Town says. So we're going to try to stay in touch because I had a lot of great ideas. I didn't write them down. Because now, why is my feed so delayed? Just because I want to record and maybe try to stay on track. Maybe I just shouldn't care as much. So I was thinking about that really loose, well, Satan doesn't have a leash. He can do as much evil as he wants. God was so amazed with his work. This is the stories we were told, that he had put so much added effort into making the angel that had fallen in as Lucifer, Satan. He goes by many names. Angel of light, but he's actually the opposite. There are dark angels too. So, we could get into that right now too. I was always inclined to the spiritual realm, studies, major pull, love it. Loved anything to do with social gatherings, settings, groups of people, the energy, the interactions of people, animals, groups of animals. I always loved it. It's been my favoriteest. And it always will be, because that's how God made me. And so over the years, since I'm 50, I've kind of honed in with the Lord. I guess you could say almost extraterrestrial abilities. Ooh. But I'm very, very careful because of the harassment. And I hate if I were to ever say something that were to lead you so into such a distraught state that you still wouldn't seek God. Why does the dark side have no leash? No leash on the dark side. Uh-oh, is she going to get erupting? No leash. He just a stray dog wandering around. Nasty, dirty, just infested with diseases, just running around, infesting a bunch of the world, making it dark and ugly and gloomy and diseased, all through money and facades and shows of wealth. All under that pretty glow is the most disgusting, ugly creature that ever lived, the one that killed Jesus. God let it happen. Jesus agreed. The darkness is so disgustingly deep. The elites hope they can explode most of the world so that we never see how ugly and dark it is. With all the shows. If you're a person that can read auras or any sort of energy fields with the Lord, oh my God, what are you seeing? What are you seeing? I'd block most of it out. Block most of it. I have to. At least last 6 years. Block it out. Short visits out and about. And not that, sticking my nose, I'm such a good girl. No, what the fruits is going on? This hat makes me laugh every time I see it. That's why I keep trying to put it back on for a couple minutes. I laugh almost, not a full laugh, just like, hey, fruitcake. So I did the swearing for a while. I used crude language at times. Honestly, I was shocked that I could go so far. Just for the sake of free speech. So I was like, that's all we have left to protect religion. To protect free worship, which has been just being slaughtered and sliced and cut and diced for at least, if I got saved at 19, it was already like, everyone's just, rapture. It was like, I just got saved. We're leaving now. Okay. That was a bad joke. That was a bad joke. Is New Orleans, South Carolina, Idaho, Las Vegas, and another one. California, something, they're being evacuated. There's more states. This was through Patrick. He's not for everyone, man. He's got a big following now. 119K he's up to. He does most of his pods in his car, and he's got a very specific style of a personality. He isn't for everyone. I imagine he has his share of haters. Not because it's because he is a warner. That we have a different disposition all around. All around. I mean, we're all a little different in our own right, you know? Some of us, you would think that the sky was falling every morning. And it actually is. It actually is. And we just want people to get to Jesus. It's like the simplest recipe. You're still turning tricks. You can't stop yet, or you got some other problems. It's all right. Just at least get to Jesus. He'll help you iron out all the problems. But get down to get your tests done and your STDs checked before you keep just flying around. You know what I mean? All of ya. What is this video? Because I can't keep trying to fold up. I can't fold up no more. Jesus let me hide out. I would jump out. Ta-da! He would have me wrestled back around with some other problem with the government locally or whatever. Too close to the prize. Too close to the prize with the Lord. The prize of what? Pulling the blanket off. Pulling the rugs up. Digging it up. Yup, that's exactly. I was between 4 and 10 years old and sitting on the edge of my bed, and I said, oh Lord, I can't wait till we just start digging it up. Jesus, God, you don't love me. You just keep letting them terrorize me. You don't love me. Why am I even born? Oh my God, no one's ever going to save me. It was so bad. I will never discuss how evil it was. Hidden under a roller skating rink, for Christ's sake. How dumb are you? All of you. So he loved Lucifer so much. I don't know. I've heard so many different things on this too. Was it the Archangel Michael? Or no, Michael, we're supposed to go to Michael. Did he fall? Was he Satan? I have heard all of these. And you know what? I don't care. I mean, I do care, but I mean, it could be Timbuktu came falling down and he was the angel and he was the most amazing one. That's names and specifics. Unfortunately, I hate to say I may not be the one for you with that. You'll have to source out to more capable people. Is like, for instance, when I say mushrooms, I mean, am I even getting that right? Does that just mean it's gonna mushroom out? Like when if you see mushrooms in a forest and there's the big mushroom and then all the little ones float out. It could be that, for God's sakes. It could mean that a big mushroom is blowing America up. This is a jump run video. We are not okay. And I need to be able to say this with like into the camera for the youth. You must find Jesus as your Savior no matter what. If it's a situation with elders or people in your family that hate God, keep it a secret. Insulate and try to get where you can to know Jesus on a real level. It's just really important. And the thing is most youth, God's going to have so much grace on them. It's not their fault. 3, 4, 5, 6, how many generations of baby killers that we have breeding children that are a few in between, how many in between their abortions or what, I don't know, is this video didn't go how I liked. I know that for sure. So why does Satan have he doesn't have a leash. It just, whatever that crazy was I said a little bit ago. Because his time is short. Because he has a cutoff. And then he's destroyed forever. And then there's no more evil when we're with our Lord. So even if full judgment doesn't come and you're worried about this person and that not making it with the Lord. Leave that with the Lord. Pray as much as possible. We don't know how God's grace is going to work. I mean, this fog, these things they've done to society for most of my life and even prior that is imprinted on the brain and our mechanisms in our body, and it's a pattern. When I discuss things like people that live in suburbia, the little subdivisions, and then the next generation lives in suburbia, and then the third generation acquires a house, and it's like a clan in a way. They all live within this one neighborhood, and the house gets passed down, and and some of those neighborhoods have become actually pretty scary, but we won't get into that right now. Some are very cliquey that way. So then say some random, maybe it was the neighbor that was hated. Maybe it was one of the neighbors that was targeted. They don't have anyone to will their house to, or they're the last for me. So then they get stuck in the middle of this neighborhood clan where nobody's really too impressed with bringing someone new in. And that stuff exists to today. So, all right, so back on track here. So the devil's time is up shortly. I don't know if you noticed, and this only means for those that do notice it. It doesn't mean we're all supposed to. If we all were noticing things, I'm sure things would have went a lot differently. But that's neither here nor there. It went the way that God wanted it to go, or we wouldn't all be here right now. Instead of me out wandering around with the puppies, because they like to take little jolts around, I like to look up and see some little silly winter bird or something just hanging out in the freezing cold. But that's not where we are at this particular moment in time with me, with the Lord. Is what I rehearsed a little bit, and I don't normally rehearse with the Lord, was so vastly different than this. Jesus is forever and ever and ever and ever and ever, no matter where you are or where you've been, no matter how dirty and how horribly evil you've been. He comes to those that are the most wretched. He comes to murderers and rapists and thieves and gangsters and child abusers. Jesus will be with you forever and ever and ever. No other human compares. And once you get the more tender relationship with Jesus, like a friend, like a confidant, it dwells within you. It's way better than an imaginary friend. I'm trying to think of all the bratty things I've heard from people that think us Jesus lovers are nuts. Because when you start to really become more strong with Jesus, closer, you ever seen old married couples and it's almost like they can navigate around one another in a sort of rhythm sometimes with certain things, and they don't even have to speak. There might be a short little let's say it's a project or something. I thought we were going to put it over here. Oh no, well, we discussed we were going to go about it this way because we thought this idea is better, but there's fault in the design of that. So we're going to come over here and remember that the second idea, and then the couple works together in harmony. But see, when they were first married, or maybe even first dating, it wasn't like that at all. I mean, they were maybe bumping into one another all the time, trying to figure out like, whoa, what's going on here? Especially if they didn't live together prior. And because we technically weren't supposed to. So when we kind of look over that history, I don't know what's better. Because there's all the sob stories of women that felt forced into marriage as a virgin and they're miserable their entire existence. And then there's the ones we can't keep our cooch in the pants and we're just roaming around like the next stray dog. It's just this whole big mess. But the thing is God's been dealing with the mess for a long time, and he just really loves you. And he wants to be your best friend towards one of the most tumultuous times in human history. And there's been many, but this one's been a little bit different. Just like each tumultuously huge human earth shattering shifts and situations of light and dark energies of spirit form are in a battle, and sometimes things get extra torn around, and then finally, hopefully, more balance of good and evil is present, and the Lord can rein in his wrath and pour his mercy in a way that never he has before, because he's still showing a lot of mercy, like a lot of mercy. And we were just discussing earlier today, before I decided to do this video, that I can't even look at myself because of the shadows from the lighting and everything, is, boy, you really did give Satan a lot of leeway. Mercy. Mercy. But Satan's is with the claws. Oh, you can run wild with your evil, but Creator God, I lavish in the day that I fry you. But the problem is, unfortunately, you're taking too many of my children with you. So, are you ready to rumble again? And here we got, chew, 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 expose, expose, subdue, subdue, shut up, aroo. Cuckoo, cuckoo. I used to talk about a silent revolution, but I hadn't worked out the details. I'm like, this is ludicrous, Lord. No, there's a silent war that had started against us, remotely even. Some of us haven't cleared away the fog to see it. And we were deceived to such a degree, we almost lost one another, each and every one of us. And my coup was, since they did a silent war on us and tricked us and deceived us, maybe we can network and not let the evil powers know that we're networking, and create our own peaceful, silent coup with the Lord. Get all these people saved in private. Don't let them know. Don't let their families know. Even maybe their families might be atheist. They might condemn them more. They might hurt them more if they found out that one child loves Jesus more than anything. More than anything. Commit them. They're nuts. They think they hear from Jesus. Commit them. They're nuts. They think they hear from Jesus. I guess we're just doing like a skit, a little bit of performance thrown in, with a few lessons in between to say, Jesus loves you more than anybody, more than anything. He loves all of his children equally too. There's some different things there. We won't get into that right now. But the love is unconditional. That's the only way that a person can go from selling humans and raping babies to prison to being converted and then still going to heaven. There's no other God that does that or would. If anything, Satan, he uses that to his advantage, so he can make this person sicker and sicker and sicker, and that's his hiding place. But he'll let him get destroyed or killed at any. He don't care. You don't care about nothing. He don't care about nothing. He don't care about nothing. So what would your God look like if he cared about nothing? Is this what you think you'd see? All of this human turmoil and pain and suffering? Because he don't care about nothing? Or would the tears and the anguish and the floods and the homelessness and the devastations and the deaths and the attacks, wouldn't that show God's pain? Wouldn't that show every tear of every angel and the sorrow of the earth? But you say Jesus doesn't love you. Or A, B, C, and D wouldn't have happened. That's a lie from the devil. Take it or leave it. This is how it went. And I forgot a lot. These tears are for you that do evil. And you don't care. And you don't know that you're burning in hell. This world may be temporary, but what we do to it isn't. It's permanent. That includes what you do to the people in it, and the animals, and the unborn babies, and the born babies. Judgment may not be tonight, full judgment, but judgment's going on every single day, every minute of every day with the Lord. He has to know that he has enough of his children gathered together, or this is going to just keep getting dragged out. There will be generations lost in this because of ignorance and stubbornness. And I don't want to blame the general church, because there is still a remnant, and they're there. They're there. But it's nearly impossible to find, and it's in the sense of absolute truth. And no, there isn't maybe absolute truth, but there is. There is. Another main lie from the devil. There is absolute truth. It's why it's so repeated in the Bible with the Lord. And things had already gotten so convoluted and wild for too long, on and off. He's finally like, I'm the truth, the way, and the life. No man cometh through me, but through me, through my Father. And I mess that up. I always do to some degree. Because I'm all riled up, because this isn't how I wanted the video to go. I just followed my heart with the Lord, and this is how it landed. So no man cometh to my Father but through me. That's what Jesus said. We had to accept him as the Savior. We had to accept him as God in the flesh. And from that time dated, and they still killed him. It's just all the lies and the cover-ups and the documents and the papers and things destroyed to hide the evidence of Jesus rising again from the dead. Is Jesus promised that it would be hell on earth for a long time because of the evil of man's heart when it's motivated by power, money, and greed and self-centeredness, which is from the father of lies and the murderer of all. So choose wisely who you follow. I suggest Jesus right now, right now, right now, like right now, that quick, just right now.